President Donald Trump is once again talking about using one of the most controversial powers a U.S. president has, the Insurrection Act. Trump said he might invoke the law if courts and governors continue blocking his plan to deploy National Guard troops in Democratic-led cities. So, what exactly is the Insurrection Act, and why is it causing so much concern? The Insurrection Act dates back to 1807, when President Thomas Jefferson signed it into law. It allows the president to use the military, or federalize the National Guard, to respond to domestic uprisings or rebellions inside the United States. That means under certain conditions, U.S. troops can be used for law enforcement, like making arrests or suppressing riots, things the military is normally banned from doing. Normally, the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878 prevents the federal military from acting as police, but the Insurrection Act is the exception. And that's why it's so controversial. Civil rights groups warn it could give presidents too much power to use the military against civilians, a fear that goes back to America's founding. When asked about it, Trump said, "We have an Insurrection Act for a reason." He added that if people were being killed and local leaders or courts blocked him, he'd consider using it. This isn't the first time he's brought it up. During the George Floyd protests in 2020, Trump also suggested invoking the act, but he never did. The last time the Insurrection Act was actually used was in 1992 during the Los Angeles riots after the Rodney King verdict. Back then, California's governor requested federal help, and President George H.W. Bush sent in troops to restore order. But here's the key difference. Trump could use the law even without a governor's approval, and that's what alarms many critics. Could courts stop him? Maybe, but it's complicated. Judges have often given presidents wide freedom in military decisions. Still, a recent Oregon ruling blocked Trump from deploying troops to protests under a related law, suggesting courts might push back. For now, Trump says he hasn't used the Insurrection Act yet. But as political and legal tensions grow, his renewed threats are raising old fears about how far a president can go to use the military at home.